Welcome to my action research project. My project is implementing reading apprenticeship strategies into business courses. I'm a strong proponent of improving critical thinking in my students. Critical thinking is a skill that serves all students no matter what their career goal. Critical thinking development makes students an active participant in the learning process. I also want to be able to spark discussion that includes all of my students, not just the ones who always speak up. My plan is to implement reading apprenticeship strategies in my business courses. For the purpose of this project, I will be implementing in my second half fast track course. I'm implementing in the second half of the spring semester so that I have additional time to get training and to do some literature review. Upon completion of the NFO workshop for reading apprenticeship, I knew it would complement the critical thinking activities I already utilized. The first step was for me to learn more about the reading apprenticeship approach. My understanding is that it was going to help me apply high-level reading strategies and help students become explicit readers. As I stated, I'm a proponent of improving the critical thinking skills of my students. I have implemented the development of those skills through utilizing tools from the book Asking the Right Questions, A Guide to Critical Thinking by Neil Brown. This text helps students develop the skills at the higher end of Bloom's taxonomy. The strategies I use from this book help students bridge the gap between simply memorizing or blindly accepting information and moves them to the greater challenge of critical thinking and synthesis. It teaches them to respond to alternative points of view and develop a solid foundation for making personal choices about what to accept and what to reject. So I began by purchasing Reading for Understanding, How Reading Apprenticeship Improves Disciplinary Learning in Secondary and College Classrooms, and it is a hefty read. I completed chapters 1 through 4 and then jumped to chapter 7 in time to implement for my second half of the fast track class. Chapters 1 and 2 discuss the context for change and describe in depth the reading apprenticeship framework. Chapters 3 and 4 discuss building a foundation for engaged learning and metacognition. And Chapter 7 covers teaching, problem solving, and reading. As I've said, I am implementing the strategies in my Business 10 Introduction to Business courses. Business 10 is a required course for the business ADT, all the certificates, and the degrees, and it's usually one of the first courses that students in the business major take. The implementation of reading apprenticeship techniques started in our second class meeting. I explained to the students that the lectures won't be just me regurgitating information that they already have read, that they're going to be interactive and they'll be working in small groups. The implementation of strategies took the form of me restructuring my lectures. I actually cover fewer topics now, but we cover those topics in more depth. And at least once in each class session, we use some metacognitive strategy. For the most part, it's the use of graphic organizers. So I use my Fast Track 1 class as my control group and my Fast Track 2 class for my implementation and final assessment. For both classes, we have 3 100-point exams that are summative, and each exam covers about 5 chapters. As you can see, there was an improvement in the exam grades for the Fast Track 2 sections where I implemented their reading apprenticeship strategies.